Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Today is Monday, the 21st, and I'm going to take a look at today's astrology and talk about it, of course. Now, this is something I do every day for myself anyway. I always check the astrology. And why? What is the point of that? Well, here's the thing is this is what's happening in the fifth dimension, as above, so below. The planets are showing us what's going on energetically, and they're giving us guidance, and they're helping us understand it, not from our limited perspective and how to get through it, but from a higher perspective. Our minds are limited. So when we go outside of our ego for solutions, we're basically going spiritual for solutions. That's what astrology is, it's spiritual guidance. It's the guru. It's basically the guru. Okay. It's astrology. It's the ninth house. It's Jupiter. So it's helping us through. And our limited thinking is not capable of the mass expansive goings on that is happening in the cosmic order. So this is a challenging time because we've got the sun in debilitation squaring Pluto, and we also have Mars building a square to Pluto. We're going to have a new moon Scorpio coming in a couple days here, well, in November 1st, I think, or the 2nd, but I'll post about that soon. But what we do have is also a Mars trine to Neptune and Uranus. So what's this really about? So what happens when Mars is in debilitation is we get very emotional, we get very triggered, and we can be reactive. So let me give an example. A man, because you're very sensitive when Mars is in Cancer. It's a very sensitive energy. So let's say someone's at a bar, they get drunk, somebody says something, they take it the wrong way, or it gets triggered and it turns into a fight. So basically Mars is sensitive and emotional and not very well in control. A strong Mars can really control its anger. It has really, that's Capricorn Mars. It has the ability to really hold back any kind of conflict or anger. That's a strong Mars. Okay. So basically, so our processing is going to be somewhat sensitive now, especially with the sun in Libra. This is not a very strong sun. It's ineffective. And the sun gives us a lot of confidence, vitality. And so this is a challenging energy, to say the least. So what is the solution? What is the medicine, the antidote? Well, it's going to be in that Mars trining Neptune. It's going to be in that go spiritual, go above the quagmire, go above the chaos, because that Mars Pluto is going to be chaotic. We've got that for a couple more weeks. Kind of starting that trigger now with that with that sun to Pluto, where we possibly, depending on our charts, are going to be triggered again around an issue that we're resolving here and clearing up at the end of this journey of Capricorn Pluto in at the last degrees in that house for us. It's kind of like the critical degree point, 29 degrees. It's when the crisis can kind of flare up, and then we resolve it, because these energies are temporary. We're going to move into better energies. This is just for the couple weeks here, 2 to 3 weeks. So the point, but actually Mars is going to be debilitated for all the way up until April, because it's going to be in Cancer for like forever. I don't know how many months that is, but it does go into Leo for a little bit when it goes, and then it's going to go retrograde back into Cancer. So we're really going to want to figure this out. We're going to want to really master. And how do we do that? It's going to be spiritual practices. It's going to be meditation. It's going to be whatever we can do after you get that upset, emotional sensitivity. You, instead of acting, which is what Mars wants to do, you go spiritual, that trine to Neptune, and you meditate and you connect. Now it is to escape it, because we're rising above the quagmire. We're going to rise. Astrology is the fifth dimension. It's like the eagle that flies, lives up in the dimensions and then comes down to eat and flies up. So it's like we're going to live above it spiritually, see it from the bigger perspective, and find the way that's going to pull you out of the circular story that's going around in our heads around the trigger or around whatever's going on in the chaos, if that's how it's playing out. So this is a time to find spiritual practice. I love mine, which is tarot and astrology, because it keeps me out of my ego mind, my ego limited perceptive ways of handling or understanding what's happening. And I get deeper guidance through it. So the guidance through these times is going to be to develop strong spiritual practices. There's many wonderful ones. I'd love to do group live fun discussion on all the methods that are available to us to pull out of the reactive state or the mind that is troubling us. And it's going to be that Mars trining Neptune, which is all about it's escaping in a positive way. Now, you could escape in a negative way. You could get triggered and then go into an addictive state. That's often a Pluto thing. Or you can get triggered, connect with a deep, shall we say, wound, because that could connect. It'll connect with a wound, which we then heal. And we find a spiritual anecdote for that, because the wounding and the Pluto trigger is always going to be around attachment, fear-based. So it's threatening and survival. That's Mars in Cancer. It feels threatened. So you then know that with that Neptune, Mars, and Uranus is there too, which is actually very positive, surprising, good, liberating information or opportunities. But basically, what we're looking at is developing ways to manage a debilitated Mars and a debilitated Sun right now. The Sun is going to change. It's going to go into Scorpio soon. So that's better, but it's in Pluto's sign and Mars's sign. So this is going to be important to find ways to calm the mind and to leave to not be focused on the 3D or the physical experience, and to leave it and go spiritual, look at it from above, not escape it, not deny the trigger and what it means for you, and that you can become more through these transits. You become more aligned with God, more trusting in God, more trusting in your survival, and more cleared of lower density fears that are not a part of our spiritual growth. All right, let me pull a card out here for this energy. 3 of Wands, Ace of Wands. So basically, we're pulling we do get the Tower card. So basically, we're seeing some rapid shifts and changes. That's that Pluto leaving that Capricorn house, where we're really and then there's that Uranus card. This is Uranus. So we're seeing some sort of rapid shift and changing in our lives here, because we really are ending that big chapter as Pluto leaves in mid-November. We're really, really beginning some major new chapters here. We can't fully see them yet. And so that causes some insecurities in people's and fears about survival and the long term. But don't worry, we're just in void period. We're in between these two cycles. So try not to let the world, I get the world card too. So we're really ascending to another level in our journeys. So try not to be attached to the way things have been, and be open to a new chapter and a new way things are playing out. So whatever needs to be let go of right now, you have to really let it go, release it, and really pop that Uranian transit is going to really give us enough optimism around something to pull us through the world cards. So we get some really nice cards too. So try not to get hung up on the chaos and find a spiritual practice that you can use that can really help. And I know astrology and tarot just work fantastic for me. They always pull me out and keep me with a more big perspective of what's going on, the eagle's perspective. All right, I hope this was helpful. Namaste.